Hello YouTube, it's your friendly Grumpetier, and I'm back again on another Steven Universe vlog, and today's episode is line 3, straight to video, and this is the big one. We get to see Steven's mom, Rose. We not only get to see her, we get to hear her voice, we get to learn about her personality, her legacy, all that great stuff everybody wanted to know about her since the show started. So the episode starts with Steven's at the Big Donut, and Sadie's telling him about how her mom doesn't pack her lunches anymore, and Steven's like, well, I wonder what kind of lunches my mom would pack me if she was still around. And he was with the Lion a lot. This is one of those, remember the last two? There's like the Lion 2, and then there's Lion the movie. This is like, I don't know why they called this one Lion 3. I guess because it had Lion in it. They could have just, I guess because it had Lion in it, they just added it on. It involves a video later in the episode, which we'll get to. I guess that makes sense. Witty title, I guess, but they could have well just named it, I don't know, something else. Because it doesn't even mention any of the elements in the other two Lion movie episodes, except Dogcopter, but we'll get into that. So anyway, Steven's wondering out loud, and then Steven falls asleep. I think he like goes to sleep because the Lion's acting all weird, and so he goes to sleep, and then he wakes up, and he's having a dream. He's in like this giant field of like pink hay or something, but he can't breathe in the field of pink hay. So like he wakes up, and it turns out he was just sleeping underneath Lion, because Lion was laying right on top of him. And Pearl tells him that, which is a really weird scene where Pearl tells Steven she watches him when he sleeps, which was I don't know. He added that. I guess that could be funny if you like that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, I don't know if you should be watching Steven Universe. I think there are some other things you should be doing that, yeah, it's gonna end this joke. Anyway, yeah, it was kind of a little weird joke they put in, but they did make up for it with a funny one, like a few seconds after, when Steven, like, looks up and the Lion's there, and he's like, oh, go away, and then he looks up again and Pearl's there, and yeah, that was kind of funny. Anyway, so he goes back to sleep, and he has another dream, and he's playing chess against Clifford the Big Red Dog, or Dogcopter, from the last two Lion episodes, and the Lion tells him, and the dog tells him some kind of, some kind of quote that I really didn't understand, and as an, if I may, artist, I didn't understand what he meant by the quote. It seemed weird to me. And then he wakes back up. Well, no, then he goes into another dream, and it's the same dream where he's in the pink field, and he wakes up again, and it turns out Lion was laying on top of him again. And he's like, Lion, why are you so affectionate with me today? And so Lion tries to grab Steven, and shove him right into his mane. Steven's like, no, and then he uses claws. Okay, he got claws. And then he and then I'm sorry, I apologize, everyone, ever. And then he puts the Lion outside, but he can't stand to see the Lion sad, so he brings the Lion back in. Some more stuff happens, I think. Oh wow, whoa, brain fart, brain just pooped. Oh, yeah, okay, yes, sorry. This is like the one episode I'm not allowed to forget. Steven, the Lion, takes Steven, and he goes inside the mane, and it turns out, when Steven puts his head inside the mane, that's how he gets to the pink fields that he was in when he had the dreams. And the reason he had those dreams is because, Lion was laying on top of him, and they weren't dreams at all. There's another world inside Lion's mane, which, okay, it's if Chuck Norris can have a fist in his beard, Lion can have a whole nother world in his mane. Yeah, that's good. That'll do. So he goes in there and he finds, I think it was like a cherry tree or something. And amongst the items is a little pyramid-looking thing, a ukulele guitar. I think it's a ukulele. A ukulele. I'm pretty sure it's a ukulele because that's kind of Rebecca Sugar's thing. A ukulele, Mr. Universe T-shirt, whole bunch of other things. Those are just things I could top off the top of my head. But the one thing he finds is a VHS tape, that's one of those things, one of those bricks that people used to put in their TVs for the younger viewers. Anyway, he finds a VHS tape, and he puts it in a VHS player, which was kind of like the oven that you put the brick in back in the day. You know, these kids, they don't know Obama. And at the Big Donut, and he and Sadie watch it, and it turns out that the VHS tape was actually made by Rose herself while she was pregnant with Steven, and it shows Steven all the beautiful wonders of the world, how excited she and Greg were to have Steven, and all the wonderful things to accept and love in the world. And Stevie Wonder comes out, and he thinks to himself, what a beautiful world. That was Stevie Wonder, right? Yeah, Stevie Wonder. And if I like to be honest with you guys, even if my opinions aren't the most liked opinions. Powerpuff Girls special Dance Pants Revolution thing. The honest truth about Rose, for me, she was... And I'm talking not like her voice, not like her, you know, the way they built up to the character. There's a scene where she takes the camera and, you know, she turns it around to herself and she's showing Steven, you know, she's talking to Steven like head on, and maybe it's just me, it's probably just me, but am I the only one that found her design a little creepy? Not like, she looked like one of Jem in the holograms. She was just kind of like staring head on. She looked rather like large in the chest area, kind of. She had like all kinds of strange curly hair, and her face was a little more anime tinted, if I may. And she, like, I liked everything else about her. Like, you know, I see her in the pictures that Steven has around the temple. I see her in all those other episodes they show her in, and she looks fine. And even in the scene after she turns the camera around, where she's standing with Greg, and they're holding hands and stuff, she looks fine in that scene. I really like the design of her dress and the placement of her gem. Like it's right on the baby. You know what? It's a good idea. It's just when she turns the camera around, maybe it's just because it's the first time we've ever seen her, but when she turns the camera around, that seemed really weird for me. I was a little creeped out by her design a bit. But besides that, the video, it really shows some clues to, you know, obviously Steven's past. It shows that the temple actually wasn't always the temple we know it as now. It used to be, like, the temple goddess statue used to have her hands like this, and inside the hole was like a little tunnel, presumably where the gems lived, instead of where it is now, like a beach house kind of thing going out to the temple. That's an interesting thing, and they only showed her for a few seconds too, so that's how you know it's an interesting thing. And of course, the scenes of Mr. Universe, are like so true. The way people are when they're making a video for their children. I know I have, at least. My parents made a video for my sister before she was born, and no, I think it was me. I don't know, one of us. It was like, well, there was a whole bunch. I think it was me before I was born, and like since I was their first child, and sadly not their last, they were, you know, you can see like the nervousness, but also the joy and happiness kind of mixed in the emotions, and you can see it here with Greg and Rose too, and it's really nice. It's a nice thing. And Sadie and Steven end the video, and they have an emotional moment. And Sadie tells her mom she wishes she could have the lunches back, and I enjoyed this episode so much at a certain point, at least. I feel the opening, like, the build-up to the whole inside of the, what's it called? The inside of the main is where Steven should be, is a little obvious. I mean, you know, it happens twice. He's sleeping right on Lion. Lion's trying to push him towards the main. It's like, oh, it's, okay, wait, who's the bad guy in Roger Rabbit? Could you point that out when you're doing it? And there's like I said before, the weird scene where Pearl's telling Steven about how he likes to watch her in her sleep. That's a little weird. I think it was like the filler to it was like the filler to the big bombshell part, which I find Rebecca Sugar, and I love you, Rebecca Sugar, I love you, Ian Quartel, I think. I love all of Steven Universe team when I say this. I feel Rebecca Sugar does this a lot. As you can see with the Adventure Time Holly Jolly Secrets episode, there's a lot of, actually now that I think about it, there's a lot of build-up, it's kind of slow, and then you get a VHS tape that reveals secrets about a character you kind of were a little fuzzy about. Same thing happens with the I Remember You episode. It's kind of, okay, well the build-up in that episode's really good, but the build-up and the character kind of learning each other a little bit better, two characters you don't really know that well, like, you don't know, you could go up, you see them do something in an episode, you're like, no way Steven would do that. You know, that kind of thing, and Rebecca Sugar was a big part in both of those episodes. I feel she has transferred a little bit of that recipe onto a little bit of this episode, and it works very well, except for the whole build-up part. I just kind of felt it didn't exactly need to be there. And of course you need build-up if you want to have payoff. It's not like you can just say, you're the father. You know, you have to have build-up, tell why you think that. You know, that's what juries and courts and castle is for. But I just felt it was a little weaker than I wish it was. I guess you could say it would be weak. That just makes the bombshell of the truth even more shocking. Like, if everything in the episode was super exciting, and then you got to another really important thing, it would be like, well, yeah, that's cool, but then you just have a lame episode, sort of, that has a big bombshell at the end. It's like, oh man, I was really, you know, this episode really surprised me. A lot of people like that, you know, like people like being surprised, but it didn't exactly do it for me. You know, if you liked it, that's cool. I can understand completely why this would, like, the build-up to this would be a really good idea, as I just explained, with the people like, you know, being surprised. It just didn't really do it for me that much. So, thank you for watching. Tickle that thumbs up button with your thumbs up clicker on mouse. I don't know. And tell me what you thought about this episode in the comments. Check out my album reviews, too. Daily.